Hello, everybody. It's me. I'm back. It's Dana. So it's been, like maybe 4 years since I've done anything. So, sorry. I got frustrated with marketing. I got frustrated with trying to promote myself with very little budget. I was working at an SEO company and doing all sorts of copy editing, copywriting, managing other writers. I was writing day in, day out, working from home. So I did writing constantly, and I was burned out by the time that came around. In 2015 was pretty much when I stopped writing and had started to consider going back to school because I was disillusioned with being a creative. I was actually very angry about it. My husband was also going to school, and he graduated in May 2016, which was shortly after I found out I was pregnant with our first baby, who arrived in this world in a blizzard on Christmas Day in 2016. When he was 6 months old was when I went back to school. I thought maybe educating myself in a different area and then choosing to write when I wasn't working might be helpful. I did an accelerated program, finished in 2 years, and 3 weeks before I graduated with my bachelor's, I had another baby. So I now have 2 babies, 2 sweet little boys, and I love them to death. But having a toddler and a 7-month-old at the time of this video makes it very difficult to get much done when I'm not working. I work as a dialysis nurse and part-time in a cardiac and intermediate care unit. Nursing is not something I ever really thought I would want to do. It's something I'm glad I chose to do because it gives me so much flexibility in terms of what department or what type of nursing I want to work in. But it is also extremely exhausting, as anyone who has ever worked as a nurse or in healthcare in general, like, as a CNA, PCT, a physician, nurse practitioner, PA, any of that, therapists, they can all tell you it is absolutely exhausting, and a lot of it's thankless work. I also am a master's student. I'm going to school to be a forensic nurse. So those of you who know my style of writing and my interests probably aren't too surprised to hear that. So that's where I'm at right now. Master's student, mom of 2, nurse, and wife, and I still try to find time to do what I want. Lately, I've really felt frustrated with my lack of creativity. As a nurse, I spend a lot of time counseling people and getting to know my patients and walking them through things and listening to their problems, which is all part of being a nurse, especially in the area I work in, which is outpatient dialysis. Patients there have been coming to see us for years sometimes, and they know the staff. They bake us Christmas cookies. They remember birthdays. They remember your kids' names. They want to talk to you about what's going on in their lives and what's going on in your life, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But after a 12-and-a-half-hour shift on your feet, talking to these people and helping care for them and managing their dialysis run and talking to the doctors and the nurse practitioners and the PAs and family members who might be worried and all that sort of thing, you get kind of burnt. You get burnt out on caring. Compassion fatigue, it's a real thing. And I'm a new nurse, and I'm trying to deal with that. The way that I found I can deal with it the best is by writing. So my update for now is that a new blog post is coming. I had started that post in July, and then, new job and all of that got a little bit overwhelming, so I had to postpone it, and now I feel comfortable enough where I'm ready to create a schedule and the space again to write. I have 2 projects in the works right now. I am almost finished with a poetry collection. I haven't done much with poetry, so those of you who've actually read my stuff are probably like, what? She's not a poet. Like, this isn't anything she's done before. No, you're right. But I have written poetry on and off since I was very young, and in fact, I dug out things I wrote when I was 19, and I am putting them in here for everybody to see with only minor editing. I actually put a poem in this collection that inspired me to be a writer. So the poetry collection is one thing that I'm working on, and then the other project is something that I tweeted about a while back, which is a collection of short stories, sort of horror themed. A lot of them are Lovecraftian, because like most people who like steampunk and who are into dark stories, especially nowadays, yeah, I'm very inspired by that stuff. I could do an entire video on that topic alone, both the good and the bad, but suffice it to say for now that that's the realm that these stories are in, and that's about halfway done. So as for my other projects, I was working on a fantasy western series, which I really wanted to push out there and do sort of a novella, like continuing novella series, like a serial, where each book is about 30,000 words, and the next book just kind of is another adventure in that same world. And I just cannot, for the life of me, get that story the way that I want it to be. So that's sitting on the back burner. I have a steampunk series also in the works, and I have the rough story down, but it's just not where I want it to be. Again, I'm also working on a screenplay in the Lovecraftian vein, so I'm really excited to finish that and to try and do something with it, because screenplay is completely different from anything I've ever tried. It's a challenge, but I actually found that I really enjoyed it, so I would love to share pieces of that with you when it's ready. I have a novel. One rough draft has been completed, but it needs to be completely redone. Yet again, I don't like where it went, and I feel like the characters just need to be different, and it needs to be written in a different perspective. So that's also on the back burner. You might recognize a lot of these things I'm saying as thoughts that you've had. Well, I like this book that I've written, but it needs work. Well, I really am inspired to write something like this, but I just don't have the time. I'm feeling disillusioned with what I'm doing, and I really want to just scrap it and just start from scratch. I'm gonna rage delete everything that I've done. No. You're free to do that if you want to, and God knows I've done it, but I also think that you need to give yourself a little bit more credit and put it aside for a while, maybe work on something little, something new, and come back to it. And honestly, most of the time I realize that my stuff isn't as bad as I remember it being once I go back and read it. And it can help to take that time away to look at it with new eyes. Well, this video was very rambling and random and whatever, but that's... if you know me, you know that is exactly how I think. Constantly, at all times. I am a million miles an hour. I am everywhere. I am the most disorganized hot mess of a nurse on the planet, and I know that. You just gotta accept who you are and work with it. Do y'all remember my cat? Come here, BB. What? Are you scared? Oh, pretty baby. Oh, okay. He's my dingo butt. That's Ringo. I don't know if I had him when I last made videos. Yeah, my goal is to continue to make videos and to continue to keep writing, and I will update you guys, and I will put a little bit more effort into managing my account, my social media, and just trying to reconnect with my audience. So if you like my video, I would love for you to check out my other videos. I actually have some pretty useful writing tips, and hopefully you get something out of them. Alright, until next time, bye!